I don't knit as much as I want to, really. It's a chicken. I don't knit as much as I want to, actually. So I'm just the future of my knitting. I'm not too sure at the moment. I'm just happy if I could make a hat or a scarf at the moment. Might do a bit more knitting from tomorrow onwards, to be fair. Can't hear me. I don't want to shout, I'm sorry. The future of my knitting, hopefully, is going to be, at least in a small part, in Liverpool.
Really?
Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Can we move on to Betsan?
Yeah. You've got to look into the chicken orb.
The chicken orb, okay. I'd like to see the future of knitting being recognised in mainstream healthcare all over the world, actually.
Yeah, mainstream healthcare. Brilliant.
Any more? No.
Okay, we're coming round. I want to hear. Tell me, future of knitting, where do you see yourself?
I hope they put it back on the primary school curriculum. They've just taken it off.
They've taken, sorry?
Knitting off the primary school curriculum.
Did you hear that? Primary school curriculum. She wants it back on. Okay. Do you want to hold the mic? We're coming round.
If anybody is camera shy,
do you want to look into this thing, the chicken, and say the future? The future of knitting, where you see it?
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
It's the future.
Huh?
It's the future.
It's the future. Yeah. We're coming. Tell me.
Anything. Tell you what?
Into the chicken. Or into the orb of the chicken and tell us what. You think the future of knitting?
When the apocalypse comes, we all need to know how to spin. Because we'll have to spin and knit our own clothing.
Really?
Well, if we survive and the sheep.
The sheep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The future of knitting. I think will be me knitting the same sock forever and ever. Currently, it seems to be that way.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Would you like to tell me, into the chicken orb, what do you see the future of knitting?
more expense for me. My personal future is more expense, a bigger stash. I can see destitution, living in a shoebox with my stash.
Is that heaven?
That would be my heaven.
Nicely said.
Yeah,
Tell me.
I'm with her.
Ah, okay. Can I come to you for the chicken future? The future of knitting. Tell me where. Tell me where. Where do you see the future of knitting? Your knitting.
Well, I hope everybody would like to try it out, especially the young one, to take the tradition further.
Yeah? Knitting with my chicken. Please tell me. This is the chicken of the orb, and you need to look into the knitted chicken and just tell me where you see knitting in the future, your future.
My future. I don't do very much knitting, although I love it because I found felt, and I now try and combine knitting and felt, but felt takes up more of my time. However, knitting is what I do on trains and when I'm a passenger in the car, and it's obsessive and I love it. In the future, people will always knit, and it's just one of the most wonderful things in the world. Is that all right?
I love that.
Oh, good.
It's not a case of all right. It's perfect. I'm coming to you, please, to tell me where you see. You've got to look into it and tell me where you see the future of knitting.
Oh no, I don't like to be on film. In colour. There we go.
You see knitting in colour?
Yes.
Oh. Could I ask you where you see the future of knitting? The future of... Look, this is my orb, my chicken orb. Look into it and tell... No, it'd just be interesting to know where you see... Where do you see the future of knitting?
Younger people knitting?
Younger people. You think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be your favourite yarn, your fantasy yarn? If you could have any yarn at all, what would it be? Wensleydale. So traditional...
It is a classic
British yarn. Super. Yes. So what do you think of the sort of luxury yarns like cashmere and alpaca? Beautiful.
As long as things feel beautiful and the garment is lovely when it's on, that's what it's all.
Okay, so your future as a knitter. We obviously are a knitter, so where do you see yourself in even a few years? Just
continuing on, just using classic.
Okay, and do you make money out of it? Are you a designer? Do you actually...
I have a business.
You have a business?
Yes.
Are you here today?
Wensleydale Longwell Sheep Shop.
Oh, she is! She's a proper pucker person. Oh, I didn't realise. Hello, I didn't realise you were.
That's all right, because I saw earlier, that was lovely, that scarf thing you had.
Oh, thank you.
It really did look nice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Could I ask you where you see my chicken orb? Where you see the future of knitting? Where would you like to see it in a few years? Is there any development you'd like to sort of push forward? Or
I just knit occasionally things that I like to knit for me.
That's okay.
And I pick them up from shows like this or the show at the Alexandra Palace.
Okay.
And I only knit things that I want to knit for me.
Do you knit for other people?
I have done in the past.
And does it change how you feel while you're knitting for other people?
Well, the ex-husband had a calf facet tumbling blocks.
Really? I know that
I hope
one.
he still wears it because that took a long time.
So do you feel differently when you're knitting for somebody else? Do you
I'm
think
thinking this could be for me.
Really?
I'm very selfish.
No, absolutely. Carry on. So, and the future of knitting, you see that
I don't
obviously.
know. I think knitting is going off in all sorts of directions.
Sure, it
I
is.
see the things that the young girls designers have produced with their machine knitting which is just fantastic.
So it's glorious. Almost. I mean, it's almost like. I mean, it is fabric.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean?
yes,
I mean, I know knitting
right.
is fabric,
but
it's
the ideas and the detail and something that just looks straight up and down, just fantastic.
It's beautiful.
So I guess if young people like that are coming into knitting and then expressing themselves so freely, then knitting is just going to go on from strength to strength.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is my chicken orb. And you have to look into it if you would like to. And just have a moment. Just tell me where you see the future of knitting is. What's your fantasy yarn? Who you knit for? Where's the future of knitting? Where do you see it?
Future of knitting.
When this man got up.
No, he was teaching me.
Okay.
British spun breed yarns.
Fantasies. So future. Where? Fantasy.
My fantasy is
keep it clean.
Beaumont fleece applied with silk.
Beaumont with silk.
Beaumont with silk.
And is it done at the moment? No. That'd be nice.
It's finer than cashmere.
Is it really?
Finer than cashmere.
It's beautiful. It's okay.
And I have 2 Beaumont. And there is Diana Retti up in Perth who's got a small flock of Beaumonts. And the Japanese love it for their exquisite fine suiting. But I like to chew it and I'd like to knit.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to give it to you, sir, if I may.
Oh no, please don't.
Please tell me the future of knitting. You're a knitter.
I am, yeah.
So tell
Not
me
very
where...
good.
Okay, but tell me, where do you see it? Do you knit for yourself? Do you knit for other people?
I just end up with loads of projects that just sit there.
Do you? And does it feel different if you're knitting for somebody else?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, it does.
Yeah.
In what way? More worthy?
Well, yeah. If you're knitting something for someone, i.e. a present, it just
feels
makes
different.
it all
Okay.
that better.
So fantasy yarn. Would you know enough about yarn to know what would be your best?
It's my mother.
Yeah, go on then. So yeah.
I would say probably a mixture of cashmere and alpaca.
Together?
Yeah, blend the two together.
And does it exist?
I don't think
it does it?
But I'd have to contrast a black and a white.
Okay, so what's the last thing you just knitted? What was it?
The last thing I knitted was a shawl.
For you?
I don't wear shawls.
Well, you could.
No, yeah, last thing I knitted was a shawl.
Okay, for someone else?
Well, no, it's still sitting at home.
Oh my, I'm Paul Crooks of the Halifax Spinning Mill.
And are you connected in any way?
No, Jill's a customer stroke friend.
Okay, lovely, super. Would you like to look into the knitting chicken and tell me the future of knitting? Where do you see it in a few years' time? Where does it go?
Personally, I think it'll get better.
Yeah. In what way? Do you mean in skills and technique and training and what?
Skills and technique and training, because the way I see it, the younger people are getting involved again and asking the right questions.
Sure. Okay.
So I think things will move on because of it.
Yeah.
And I think people are looking to support the British farmers as well, because they're asking personal questions about sheep and brands of sheep, hence the collection of fibre at the back of us from the various breeds of UK sheep. My best moment was when a young man of about, I'm guessing 16, 17 years came in, sat down on the spinning wheel and started showing some older ladies who's been spinning for 30 years how to spin.
Fabulous. Knit the knits and pull the pulls as they appear. Knit the knits and pull the pulls as they appear. What's going to be in the next few years, or what does it mean to you to be involved with yarn?
What I feel about being involved in yarn, I think it just gives people a chance to create something from scratch, right from the raw material, because we do spinning wheels and fibre preparation, so it's being in control of being able to create something that's really unique, which is an overused word, but you start with the absolute basic raw material and create something that's special to you just the way you want it.
Okay. So where do you see knitting in 10 years?
I think that it will be more and more important to a lot of people, because I think it's a way that people can express themselves in a world where there seem to be fewer and fewer opportunities to do that in your daily life.
Absolutely. Yes. So tell me, and also fantasy yarn. If you could have any yarn to knit with or to use, what would it be?
I don't think there is one yarn for me, because it depends on the mood I'm in.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
It would
Okay.
change.
So who are you? You are. Let me just see.
Hedgehog.
It's lovely. Very beautiful. So I know this sounds crazy, and I'm going to ask something, but do you make a living out of this?
It's part of our living.
It's part of your living.
It's part of our living. Partly we're farmers, and partly we do this, and so the sheep are part of the farm, and it all moves on.
Of course it does. Absolutely,
It's one seamless part of the way we earn our living.
So what sheep do you have?
Mainly Badger-faced Welsh Mountain.
Okay.
Because we live in the Welsh Mountains, and they suit the farm and the climate that we live in.
So someone, if I asked you, what are you, what do you do, would you call yourself a farmer primarily?
I tend to call myself a farmer primarily because that's where it starts, and everything else springs from that.
Okay. So tell me the last thing you knitted, what was it?
The last thing I knitted was actually a pair of fingerless cabled mitts. That's the last thing I finished knitting. Then I'm now knitting something from our own Badger-faced yarn, which is one from our own sheep.
Are you?
But I haven't actually finished that yet, so it doesn't count.
What's your name? Where's knitting for you? You're obviously here for Men
Yes,
Cap.
I'm here for Men Cap.
But tell me, do you knit?
I do knit.
So what was, tell me, why? Why do you knit?
I knit because my mum and my nan taught me, and I just really love it, and I'm quite a creative person, so I do all sorts of other like arty things.
Do you?
Yeah, so knitting kind of fits very nicely into all of that. And
Super.
And I would really like to see knitting, like younger people taking it up, and really trendy knits that are kind of around at the moment become really big, and it is kind of happening. Like,
Is that, so the future of knitting, which is my next question, that's the future of knitting for you, you want more young
people, yes, getting involved, learning the art, because it is an art, and I think it's really important that kind of follow that heritage, because it's got such an amazing history. So, and it would be nice that younger people kind of take that and carry that forward, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, so tell me, fantasy yarn, if you could have any yarn you wanted, what would it be? Anything? If you could just choose a yarn, what would you want? What colour, what texture, what weight, what?
Oh, okay. I really love sort of bluey, turquoisey, greeny, just any those sorts of colours.
Sure.
I absolutely love. Something quite fine and lacy and just beautifully, probably something silk actually. I really love sort of silk.
Fine and delicate.
Yes. Yeah, although
Okay.
I can't knit with that, so that's probably where I...
And you're here for Men Cap today. Tell me. And tell me, best moment today, best moment.
Best moment today has probably just been the amount of people who have signed up for the raffle, which has been absolutely fantastic. We've sold 129 tickets, and all of the money is going to Men Cap, so it's definitely been worth it. So thank you, everyone.
Yay! Look at and she won't do anything about it. Thank you.
Thank you, chicken.
Thank you. You're a star.